Let's get a bit more analysis now with our French politics editor, Marc Perelman, who joins me on the set. Marc, what details do we have about what could be in this so-called measured response from the French government?
Well, that's being discussed as we speak since 11:30 Paris time. There is a special meeting, so-called Security and Defense Council, convened by the president at the Élysée Palace. Normally, it's to discuss about mainly military issues and so on, but there have been such meetings during the COVID, and we are told that there would be some announcements made after this meeting about certain measures and others that might be classified and therefore not announced. What could happen is that some schools or some sporting associations or some community associations could be banned. Some people could be targeted by the justice system, or we could have fines that some would have to pay. It's difficult to imagine an outright ban of the Muslim Brotherhood, first of all, because it doesn't exist as such in France. There are some Muslim organizations that could be banned, but we're seeing the National Rally. It's President Jordan Bardella again this morning calling for a ban. Why? Because the organization is banned in several countries, in several Muslim countries, lately in Jordan, for example. This has been decided. It's difficult to see it happening here in France, because obviously this is an extremely controversial and sensitive issue, because many Muslim organizations are saying this is dangerous because you're scapegoating and portraying the Muslim community in general as being against the French state, against the fabric of society, and there's a need to really to be cautious. Yes, to look at the issue and not avoid it, but also to take careful and well thought out measures, and that's not always been the case in the past.
Right, and it was the French president himself who decided to convene this special meeting today. It is a hot button issue here in France, but why this top level security meeting, not just a regular cabinet meeting?
That's a good question. It's about the message, because this is a report that had been asked for by the previous Interior Minister, Gérald Darmanin, a year ago. It was now declassified by his successor, Bruno Retailleau, who has his own political ambitions. He was just elected at the head of the conservative camp. But the president wanted to say, this is an issue I'm looking into, also because there has been criticism in the past that Emmanuel Macron on this issue of Islam, of religion, had been looking the other way, according to those, especially on the right and the far right, obviously, are saying, Emmanuel Macron didn't really want to talk about this. He said, this is a sensitive issue. We have the largest Muslim, the largest Jewish community in France. There is a war in Gaza that's raging and making matters worse. And this has also been talked about in this report. So we should try to calm tempers down. And so by convening this meeting, let it be known that there's going to be a discussion, defense meeting about this issue. He's conveying the notion that it's not only an issue like any other issues, like purchasing power, inflation, or the environment, but that is a national security issue. So he clearly wants to convey the message that it's going to be addressed in proper ways. We'll have to see whether this will have the results, because there is a law that was passed now nearly 4 years ago against quote-unquote separatism. Many of the measures that we're likely to see announced today are already in this law, but as is the case, often those laws are voted, not really implemented, and before there can be a real assessment, something comes up, there's a need for more actions. So we'll have to see if it's a lot about talk, or if there'll be concrete measures that can maybe address the issue and not look around it.
All right, Marc, thank you for that. We'll be checking back in with you throughout the day to see how that story develops. French politics editor, Marc Perelman.